got a great principle for us to help mentor those younger than us. You've been in the workforce, I'm in the workforce, and you know what? This is a very early on lesson to learn when we start working in the real world, right? We finished college, we finished our degrees, and now we're getting our first job. And all of a sudden, we find ourselves working for a boss who's just not as nice as they presented themselves to be. How do we respond as Christians? How would you lead your grandchild or your great grandchild in a discussion in something like this? Well, my Bible today, with the pause on purpose verse, is open to Ephesians chapter 6, verse 8. Ephesians 6, 8. And the Apostle Paul is talking to the equivalent of what we would call the employer-employee relationship. He calls them slaves and masters. And for this moment in the Ephesians 6:8, he's talking to those who we would call the employees. And they're working for a boss that's probably not as nice as, like I said, they didn't present themselves. They present themselves differently than what they did when they actually worked for them. It happens. So how do we counsel our children, our grandchildren, even our great-grandchildren, right? Well, Paul says this: work with enthusiasm as though you were working for the Lord rather than people. Remember that the Lord will reward each one of us for the good we do, whether we're employed or not. See, when we're employed and we find ourselves working for a boss that's just not pleasant, if we're working in a church and all of a sudden we find someone that we're working with, they're about as comfortable as a porcupine. I mean, that happens. There's churches that can happen. And the point is, how do we respond? Paul tells us to keep working hard. As my dad used to say, put your nose to the grindstone and move ahead. Keep persevering. In other words, stay focused on your vision. And what's our vision? To develop a passion for God and compassion for people through the life-changing message of Jesus Christ. By winning them to Christ, building them up in Christ, and then commissioning them to ministry for Christ. That's what the church is all about. And beloved, you are a dynamic part of that process. So thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't let the porcupines discourage you, okay? Come around us, we'll comfort you, and we'll encourage you and put you back in the game. You're loved, beloved. Take care and go with God, because that's right, he goes with you.